What is going on, everybody? My name is Aero. We are back with another one of these videos where we're checking out what is the track like to drive for an upcoming event of Formula Drift. So as some of you must know, it is Formula Drift Texas this weekend, starting officially on Friday with Pro 2, and then Saturday, Sunday, doubleheader of Pro 1 competition over Halloween weekend. But there is a little bit of a change in the layout for Texas this year. So very quick backstory. They weren't even supposed to go to Texas this year, but obviously because of what's happening in the world right now, Texas was a venue that had opened up to them. But what was promised, at least from what I've read, was a new section involving grandstand seating. So that a lot of people thought it was something on the back straight, something on the that it's going to incorporate the tri-oval because it's a Texas Motor Speedway. No. So just as a little bit of reference, we are in WDT 2020 cars now, which is the more recent version of the WDT 800 pack, more or less. Unfortunately, there is not a BMW E36. We are in an R34. I have audio swapped it with an RB just because that's correct. So for comparison, we're going to use the Bushido Style Drift Championship 2019 FD Texas, which is more or less, at least from what I can tell, exactly what Formula Drift was running in 2019 in Texas. All right, we're going to check out the section here outside of the car. Full disclosure, I accidentally already recorded this part. I forgot that I like to do more like a drone style or a free cam. So this is your first corner. So you have your initiation markers, 3, 2, 1, basically like a road course where it's your braking markers, but you have to initiate by this line / the last cone. So the later you initiate, basically it's just going to count towards your score. So we scrub through the replay here, 3, 2, 1. So I initiate between the 2 and the 1, just with the e-brake pull. You can kind of get away with a big flick and stuff as well, but nothing too crazy. You kind of want to stay outside here, as you say, your first outer zone. Pretty simple. Just want to ride in these hash marks the whole way around. I ended up dropping a tire here, but I am not good at video games. But as I say in the video, the old section, for all these of you who don't know, who only run the VDC version of this track, the inner clip is right here, but that is the older Formula Drift style of this layout. But to keep it a little bit more fair and to give the chase car a chance, because basically if you don't get a good initiation on your chase car and the inner clip is right there, he gone. So to make that a little bit more fair, I don't know if that's the official version, but that's why they have the outer zone instead of the inner zone. Speaking of outer zones, I hope you like them because you're going into a second outer zone here. Got to keep the car. So what you can do is go a little bit shallow coming off of here, kind of choke it a little bit, and then let it push back wide so you get this a little bit more consistently. But I do believe, obviously I haven't watched an FD round in Texas since 2019, that they are looking for this consistent outer line, but it's technically not a clipping point. It's not a zone. So getting into the second zone, it's pretty deceiving because you just came through a full power outer zone. Here you want to tap the foot brake just a little bit, and not necessarily because you need to slow down for this zone. This zone is still very fast. If you come through here, obviously you want to get as much of this outer zone as you can, and in this lap I have actually missed it because I suck. But you're tapping the foot brake to set yourself up for the only inner clip on the course. So if you're gonna see, I just missed the outer zone there. There was an attempt, but because I missed the outer zone and I hit the foot brake, we're going to get all of this inner zone. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but here comes the best part of the track. So that part's awesome. It's all flat out, full speed, super fast. Here is what separates the adults from the children. This section and this wall can be taken basically two ways. One is you kind of pull off of this zone early, hit a little bit of handbrake, let the car drift out and ride this outer zone, and then the rest of the track's pretty self-explanatory. You hold it a little bit wide, and then kind of come in slowly, hit this inner clip, and then power over the line. But what'll get you a way higher qualifying score and look a lot cooler and you carry a lot more speed is by just full dicking it, staying on the power, transitioning the car late, and just hoping that this car does not hit this wall. And as you see here, I wasn't trying to do this. That was an accident. Ended up pulling it off right here. Not as smooth in the angle as I could have been, I guess, because right here, I'm like, uh-oh, here comes the wall, and I just throw a little bit more angle. If you could pull that off consistently, this is where you're going to gain a lot of wow factor here at Texas, the old version of Texas. And I think this is why those who do like this section and those who do like watching Texas right here. And then, like I said, last corner, boom, pretty self-explanatory. Now we will be able to jump in for the live runs. So here's your start line. Everything's pretty easy. 3, 2, 1, go. If you've run the VDC Texas and have no idea about anything Formula Drift, this is going to be the same but a little different. So 3, 2, 1, a little bit of a handbrake pull. use a foot brake to keep the car on the outside, their first big outer zone. You can come in a little bit, but you're going to want that car to track out to the left again. Hold it as long as you can. Transition, a little bit of foot brake to be able to hit that first out, second outer zone. Inner clip there. And then the wall. Oh, where you can absolutely wreck your car as I bumped it. Inner clip, and then across the line. So the section is very fast. And especially coming into that wall zone, there is a ton of commitment because you can take it with a bit of foot brake, or I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to do it again. No handbrake, and just being able to pitch the car at the right time, full throttle. That's what's gonna get you those 90-point runs at Texas. That separates the good drivers from the inhuman. So I'll try not to take another stab at it, maybe if I'm not constantly talking, but again, second, third, fourth, entering at about 70, 80 miles an hour. Want to stay on power all the way here, so I entered a little bit late. And if you stay out wide, it's a little bit harder just to keep that on that left zone. A little bit of foot brake, like I said, just to help the car pitch into the inside of the corner. That time I used handbrake and a little bit of foot brake to be able to get out of that outer zone, but a little bit too much angle. We'll go one more. Pretty popular in the Assetto Corsa world. It seems like every server that I know of has gone to or will go to Texas at some point for their competitive layout. They use the VDC layout. VDC is just the older Texas, where the clip is on the inside. So you start out outside like this, but then you come in and late apex. But they change it to an outer clip just so the chase car has a bit more of a chance, because this, like you could probably tell, this track's a lot of right foot, very fast. Grippy cars will... Oh, that was cool. Grippy cars have an advantage here. And across the line. I know you're thinking, all right, this was Texas 2019. So surely... So what I thought, and a bunch of other people thought, is that they were going to use the French Straight somehow. I don't know how they were planning on doing that, but it said grandstand seating. So what I figured is grandstand. You know, we're at Texas Motor Speedway. I figured they set up some walls, maybe do something with starting here and then entering pit lane, and then you come around. I don't know. I'm not creative when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I figured it was going to be on the front straight. Like, that's cool. I like that idea. But
it's false. No way. Not this time. Pure fiction.
That is not what they did at all. And we're going to get into the second version, which is just a slight tweak of this BSDC version. Actually, don't even really need the help, because the 2020 section is a lot similar to the 2019 section, as you'll see in a second. All right, so this time I'm being smart and doing this track breakdown before I start driving the track. I say it in a couple videos, like, hey, I'm still getting used to making videos in Assetto Corsa. You know how wild it is having a free cam that I can just move around and not have to be in drone mode or whatever? Pits are down here. Oh my god, that is a small man. I know what you're thinking. Aero, are we not on the straight leading up to the wall corner that you just talked about, that you liked so much and you thought was really cool? And I thought you said this was a complete new section. See, that's where I think we got bamboozled. I don't know if they just meant they were getting grandstand seating. So this is going to be your start. So you go into turn 1, and turn 1 is this outer zone here. I don't know if they're going to move the wall forward, so it's a wall drag. I don't know if they're going to keep it the way it is. And really quickly, I'm just going to talk about why I think this change was made. I know you guys want to see drifting, whatever, but this is kind of important because a lot of people raised a stink when Wall, New Jersey, got taken off the schedule, and this, I think, is very similar of a reason why Wall got taken off the schedule, is why they changed this. So Wall, somebody was going to get hurt in New Jersey, and I hate to be that guy because it was a fun track. It was one of the more unique ovals on the circuit, but with the very rudimental style K-rails and just like aluminum rail, I think it was Ryan Turek that ended up getting into it one year and destroying his car.
Wow, Dan Burkett. Whoa, and a hard hit. Outside zone, Justin Bullock, very high. Jeff, oh, and Jeff goes right into the wall. Set. Oh, and Vaughn goes into the wall. Here in this dock, Falcon, oh boy. Smoking it up, oh, and gets into the wall. Medium to high line, whoa, flirts with the wall, and he goes into it. Sticks it all the way around, dragging bumper. Run initiates into the bank. He'll run high, taps the wall once, twice, stays in it. No.
You picked a fine time to leave me loose wheel.
You saw, no, and Forrest Wang, both these guys.
It was a matter of time before someone got very hurt or worse. as much as I do like wall, they need to improve their safety for Formula Drift, and because it's such a small oval, I don't think they're going to do it. Also, I don't even think wall exists anymore. I think they might be getting rid of it or gotten rid of it. So I think the same reason, for that same reason is why they got rid of this big high-speed wall ride. As cool as it is to watch, believe it was last year when Peter Wychick got a little bit too saucy behind Osbo, and they hit that there's usually tires here, so they don't hit, you know, a concrete wall at 90 miles an hour with the back of their car. But the tires sucked in Osbo after he got bumped. Frederick got pulled into it. Osbo's car was wrecked. Peter's car was wrecked.
Both of them around that first front clip. Oh, Doctor into the tire wall goes Matt Field, our first battle of top 16. Flip, transitions in. Panther missing. Whoa, Doctor!
So I think maybe after last year and then last minute decided they wanted to go to Texas again, or if Texas was going to be a viable option, they probably went, okay, let's not do that. So I've been told, I've been watching FD for a long time, but I've been told this is the old 20, I'm not sure in the year, but like 2016 Texas layout. And the more I look at it, I'm like, more like, goddamn, they're right. It's literally just the section we did in reverse. So you have that as your outer zone. You're going to stay out. And then there's your only inner clip on the entire section right here. Outer zone. And then I think they're going to want you to come in just a little bit. Like, if you could ride this whole outer zone, sick. But I think they're going to want you to, like, hit this outer zone, move in a little bit, and then let the car kind of coast out wide to hit this outer zone here. And then this is, instead of your start line, is now your finish line. You can see the cones are even still here. Like I said, this mod is a very quick edit of the BSDC version, but you don't even really need it. You could just run the regular BSDC version in reverse. So you can imagine my and before you say like, oh, you know, this is just a guess, someone just assumed this. It's on Bare Minimum Kazuya Taguchi's Instagram that this would be the layout, and we'll find out for sure this weekend because Formula D likes to change things on me as I make videos. Seattle, I thought I had the right layout, and it turns out they were running it to the wall, and I hate you, Formula Drift. And that other section is, you know, a fan favorite as far as I can tell, because of that high-speed entry to that wall and the fact that it's so fast. So this isn't bad. I've done a couple of test laps. So this section is not bad. Let's just kind of role-play that the chicane's here. But you're, like, I'm rushing to enter there. And then I have the speed. Thank you, cursor. Very cool. Have the speed, and then there's a big slowdown zone here. Big opportunity for angle there as well. Keeping it wide and across the line. I don't feel scared here now, and I guess that's both a good thing and a bad thing. But the older Texas, your first corner, you had to nail. You know, you drop a tire there, you're losing speed, and you're not going to be able to gain on the car in front. Your second and third corner is basically waiting for that wall. And then again, coming into that wall is fear. You know what I mean? Like, you overshoot. In real life, you're hitting the tires, which is going to destroy your car. And in the game, you're going to hit the wall, and you might get lucky and bounce right off it, or you might not get lucky and get flung in the other direction. And then that last hairpin, because it's so tight, and because of the entry with the wall, the chase car can go a little bit shallower and be able to really close gap. But here, this way, it just doesn't have the same flow to it. A little bit slower of an entry, so you'll be able to use a little bit less handbrake. I went for a flick there. Car kind of just rotates by itself here. A little bit of foot brake to get out to that outer zone. Like I said, you might see big angle there. Ooh, that was really good, actually. Oh, I was on the grass. No. Get out of the car here and take a quick look. So this is a run that we just did. Surprise. So we come in here. Let me play 4 times slower than again. So you can really get on that wall. Like I said, I don't know really what they're going to do in real life because this is just an edit. So I don't know if they're even going to have this wall. I don't know if they're going to take this wall and move it forward to add a little bit of risk to this outer zone, which would spice it up a little bit. I don't know if they're going to do the same thing before when they had the tires here. Who's to say? This is what we have in the sim for now. Not difficult at all. I feel like I might be entering a little late because I'm only really entering like here, but I don't know how else they really want you to do that without it being a super late initiation. So if they want you to enter early, you're going to expect to see a lot of cars and maybe some of the more inexperienced guys going real shallow in this zone. So let's continue playing here. Gonna go let the car track to the right and then transition before. So that was a little late. on my part, to be honest. So you're gonna want to transition way before I did. So you want your car to already be pitched to the right and smooth an angle across these 3 hash marks. So what I did was transition really late. I don't know if I'd say that's like a huge deduction, but it's definitely not good. Like, that's gonna be hard for the chase car to chase. That could lose you a battle. Because of late transition, we're gonna track all the way out to this left side. Again, I used a little bit of foot brake just to be able to make sure we got all of it, just keeping it on the course. And here's where I made my mistake, but you're going to see a lot of surging here in the chase position heading into this outer zone. Like I said, big opportunity for big angle here. It really depends on the driver and their style. For example, I see this section, I go, Denova's going to do something stupid, but in a good way. Matfield might do something stupid in a good way, because you could come in with like a reasonable amount of angle and just like handbrake drag it to keep it on the outer zone. Or you could try to do something cool and just stay in the power, minimal handbrake, and hope the angle kind of sorts itself out. I kind of went for it here, but as you're going to see, this is, again, I think is going to be a really big point of contention for the weekend, is pushing a bit too hard. I just kept it on the track. I think I just straightened out from this angle a little bit too much. So I'm on the line here. On the line, and I actually nailed it pretty good. So that's probably what they're going to be looking for. And then I just ran out of talent here. I got on the power, went a little bit too wide. Let's pretend that I didn't do that though. They're going to want you probably to maintain this outer zone, but I think if you kind of come in a little bit and then let it track out wide again, that's going to be more consistent. And I think that's what you're going to see the guys that aren't going for these big angle entries into the final corner. That's what you're going to be seeing them do. So more so the Chris Forsbergs, the Osbos, the guys that, you know, are very consistent, but maybe not as flashy. You're going to see them hit this outer zone, then immediately start coming in. Maybe not much, maybe like by a car length or two, as you can see on my mouse, and then coming back wide to fill this outer zone. But if you're going to see guys running the whole outer zone, they're going to come in with a whole head of steam, throw a crap ton of angle, and just kind of hope that the car sticks. We almost kept it. It was very close. I ran out of talent here. I figured the corner opened up more than it actually does. So again, you might see some tire drops in this area. Definitely going to see a lot of cars going off, especially if the weather is not great. But what is this course like to drive in the sim? So let's get back in the car. And I'll tell you, it's definitely not as fun. You know, when you're in a computer game and you're in, you know, you can call it a simulator as much as you want, but at the end of the day, it's a video game. When you're in a computer game, when you're in a sim, you don't have to worry about death or ruining your car or hurting yourself. So that terrifying aspect of the second half of this course, going the other way, was my favorite part of Texas. But when you go this way, the difficulty, I would say it's probably equally as hard with this outer zone. Just trying to get this right, depending on how you like to drive. So I went a little bit shallow there, hit the foot brake to bring it back, and then, like I said, the radius of that corner kind of closes near the end, which in the other way it opens. It's not even remotely as terrifying, and it's a lot easier in the sense where I'm not scared of the car. I'm not scared of, oh no, if I make a mistake, I know if I go a little bit wide, maybe I'll get on the curb, maybe I'll get one on the grass. I can come back from that. But going into this wall, which is now our turn 1, going into this walled section the other way, have to either nail it, be a coward and risk losing a ton of either qualifying points, or this year you'd probably just be lead run prowess, we'll say, or risk wrecking your car. And that's why I like Texas. Going this way, like, watch my throttle on the bottom right with that green bar. So I'm gonna handbrake entry, a little bit of foot brake to get the car going. As soon as I get to the right, I'm full pin. Throttle, 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 throttle. Foot brake to slow the car down. And then as soon as I get comfortable in this zone 2, I'm full throttle again, and then just using the foot brake to modulate my track position and my angle. That probably wasn't amazing, but still, it's the point where you take that scary or that terrifying butthole pucker factor out of it, and this track just doesn't have the same personality in the sim. I understand why they got rid of the wall if that was part of their decision, because they don't want to see cars getting totaled or people getting hurt, but in a sim, I wouldn't run this for fun. You know, maybe if it's flat, it's easy to learn, you know, you don't have a lot of, there's not a tight corner, it's basically a wall, oh shoot, a long right, and then a long left with a closing radius. Like, the closing radius here is probably the trickiest part, because you think you can power out, and then it's like, no, you can't. mean, it doesn't close by much, maybe a couple degrees, but it is there. But it's it's basic, and it's not a bad thing. Again, if you're new to competitive drifting or new to Assetto Corsa, this might look really fun to you and really fun to learn. But for somebody like me who's maybe in the intermediate level or even higher, you know, who's got a couple of months of experience, don't get me wrong, this outer zone is not... Oh, wow, I just completely lost focus. That outer zone isn't hard, but to be able to maintain speed and throttle commitment is where the difficulty comes for that, and it's not as tricky. Okay, that's just an invisible wall. Like I said, just kind of come in, third, fourth. So carrying speed into here and being able to carry it out is the difficulty, and it's nowhere near as hard going the other way. Here is about the same, but like I said, right about here, you start to get anxious. Throwing that foot brake, being able to throw a big angle here is a big opportunity for style. And then, like I said, the wall. How did I do that? And then at full lock coming off the wall. And as a chase car, you can sacrifice a little bit. There's just so much more character and so much more going on in the other direction. But I hope this video was somewhat helpful for somebody maybe who's new to Formula Drift and looking to get a little course preview with a little bit more analysis. I know it's in a sim, but like I said, I try to go off of what these are like to drive in a sim or in the sim, and it's not my favorite course. I like Texas going forward. Even then, it starts to get boring after a couple runs, you know, after about 10, 20 minutes. I'm like, okay, you know, I like something a bit more tighter, a little bit more technical, challenging. But not to say that, you know, this from here, from this outer zone to this inner zone to that wall is one of the biggest commitment ranges in Formula Drift on the circuit. And to get rid of that, we'll see how it fares in battles this weekend, but at least in Assetto Corsa, at least in the sim, it kind of sucks the soul out of this track. I know I've heard mixed comments from actual drivers so far on various social media. I've had some indifferent responses. I've had some drivers say they don't like it at all. But for me, oh my God, I'm very good. Listen, man, that was almost backwards. But for me, it just kind of gets rid of the, I want to say the flow or the rhythm, because that's not necessarily true, because there is a flow and rhythm going the other way. But it just kind of takes some of the personality away. You know, if it's going to save some cars, if it's going to save some concussions or some injuries, it is what it is, I suppose. So thank you guys very much for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you like these kinds of videos. I'd like to do more. Obviously, we have Irwindale that's coming up next. I think at the end of November, when Irwindale's been out for Assetto Corsa for forever, so that'll be a very easy video to do. But after that, we can go, you know, to some other tracks. We can go to tracks that maybe FD did not go to this year. We can do some D1 Grand Prix stuff, or maybe some stuff that's just limited to Assetto Corsa, some BDC tracks and whatever. I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Also, I kind of changed the format of this video a little bit. There's a little bit more analysis, a little bit more talking rather than just driving, because this is a section I'm super familiar with. Even going the other way, it's not, like I said, it's not that drastic of a change. It's a section I'm familiar with, and I didn't really need to drive it over and over and over to get like a decent run or so. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Really interested. These videos kind of are being molded and shaped by your feedback, so it's like being a new YouTuber all over again. Thanks guys very much. If you liked it, again, like the video, maybe hit the subscribe button and share it online. It really helps me out. I'll see you guys at Irwindale, and if you want, I will be doing a live stream watch party of Formula Drift this weekend on my Twitch channel. So if you're unfamiliar or new to the Formula Drift series and want some questions answered, or just don't really know how competitive drifting works, come on by. That's what we're here for. Thanks guys for watching. I'm awful at outros, and I'll see you next time. Peace. What a girl.